So another thing which can come in handy is direction, especially when working with mathematics. Let's say we want to have just a single formula for whichever direction someone's moving in. You want to display something just in front of them, something like that. What a direction really is in terms of vectors is what we call a unit vector or a normalized vector. So it's always whether you got a direction of this way or this way. It's either going to be in one dimension. It'll either be 1 or -1. There's quite a nice way to work this out because we've already got our distance, which would be let's say if you got that point A at -1, point B at -4. Let's say -4 minus -1 is a length of -3, right? So I just write that down. Delta x equals b minus a equals -4 minus -1 equals -3. Okay, delta position of -3. A distance, remember our distance formula? It's always helpful to write this down, really memorize them. Our distance is equal to the square root of -3 squared, which is 3. And once we have that distance, what we can do is if we take our x position over the distance, will always return us a unit vector of in the direction of whichever direction the vector is facing. So in this case, if you have your a is at -1, your b is at -4, -1. And so this vector of -3, -3 out of 3 is -3 out of 3 is equal to -1. So now we've got that unit vector of -1. We could really easily use that to render something just in front of whichever direction the character's facing. There's different ways of doing it in 2 and 3 dimensions. We'll get there as well. Okay, this last one in 1 dimension is very simple, but it will come in handy in the future when we start working with directions. When a direction of something is pointed, it's something we need to figure out. So let's go ahead and write the formula for direction in one dimension. Direction is let's see, dir equals the x position out of its distance. In other words, it'll be either 1 or -1. So it's kind of like So it's kind of like the signed value out of the absolute value. Signed meaning it's got a positive or negative. Okay, so we'll go ahead and write this. So let dist equal dx out of distance. We'll go ahead and print that. I will call it direction. And we'll just go dir. Okay, this should either be a 1 or a -1. Dist. Oh, what did I write? Dist. It's not dist. It's I don't know why I wrote dist. It's direction. Like dir equals dx over dist. Okay, there we go. Okay, so it's 1 if we're moving this way and -1 if we're moving that way.